Hello students, in this lecture we are going to study about second kingdom Protista of Whittaker's classification system. As you know, Whittaker has suggested 5 kingdom system of classification. Of this 5 kingdom system, we have studied first kingdom, that is Monera, in previous lecture. Now in this lecture we are going to study second kingdom of Whittaker system of classification, that is Protista. Some features of kingdom Protista: all single celled eukaryotes are placed under Protista, but the boundaries of this kingdom are not well defined. What may be a photosynthetic Protista to one biologist may be a plant to another. In this book we include chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, slime moulds and protozoas under Protista. So we are going to study these 5 classes in detail. Members of Protista are primarily aquatic. This kingdom forms a link with the others dealing with plants, animals and fungi. Being eukaryotes, the Protistan cell body contains a well-defined nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. Some have flagella or cilia. As you know very well, this structure is useful for movement and locomotion. Protista reproduce asexually and sexually by a process involving cell fusion and zygote formation. Now we have clear idea about asexual reproduction means only single organism is capable to reproduce and give rise new organism. In sexual reproduction, 2 organisms are required, gametes are formed, and by fusion of this gamete zygote is formed. That is difference between asexual and sexual reproduction. First, chrysophytes. Some features of chrysophytes. This group includes diatoms and golden algae, that is desmites. They are found in freshwater as well as in marine environment. So we can say their habitat is either freshwater or marine water. They are microscopic, means cannot see with naked eyes. Microscope is required for its observation and float passively in water currents. That's why they are known as planktons. Most of them are photosynthetic, means they can carry out mechanism of photosynthesis like green plants. In diatoms, the cell walls form 2 thin overlapping shells which fit together as in a soap box. The walls are embedded with silica and the walls are indestructible. So these are some features of chrysophytes. Diatoms have left behind large amount of cell wall deposits in their habitat. This accumulation over millions of years is referred to as diatomaceous earth. So we can understand by growth of this diatom, by accumulation of this, it formed diatomaceous earth. Being gritty, this soil is used in polishing, filtration of oils and syrup. So it is beneficial also to mankind. Diatoms are the chief producers in the oceans because they can carry out photosynthesis process. That's why they are producers also. Second, dinoflagellates. As the name suggests, 2 flagellates having flagella. So these organisms, they possess 2 flagella structure. That's why they are known as dinoflagellates. These organisms are mostly marine and photosynthetic. They appear yellow, green, brown, blue or red depending on the main pigments present in their cells. So variety of color is observed here in this type of organisms. The cell wall has stiff cellulose plates on the outer surface. Most of them have two flagella. One lies longitudinally and the other transversely in a furrow between wall plates. Very often red dinoflagellates, example Goniolax, undergo such rapid multiplication that they make the sea appear red. It is known as red tides also. So by rapid growth or multiplication of such a type of organism, red dinoflagellates, it appear red in color and sea, and that is known as red tides. Toxin released by such large numbers may even kill other marine animals such as fishes. Third, euglenoids. Majority of them are freshwater organisms found in stagnant water. Instead of a cell wall, they have a protein-rich layer called pellicle, which makes their body flexible. So, cell wall is not present here, but a layer of protein is present here, known as pellicle. They have two flagella, a short and a long one. Though they are photosynthetic in the presence of sunlight, when deprived of sunlight, they behave like heterotrophs by predating on other smaller organisms. So dual appearance is there. In presence of sunlight, they can carry out photosynthesis, that's why they are photosynthetic, but in absence of sunlight, they behave like heterotrophs also. Interestingly, the pigments of euglenoids are identical to those present in higher plants. Here example is Euglena, which is very well known example. Now let's study figure of Euglena and Paramecium. Here structure you can see, simple structure is observed having flagella. Here structure of Paramecium, that is slipper shaped structure. Nucleus is observed in both figure, Euglena and Paramecium. Cytoplasm is there. Organelles are observed in their body. Fourth, slime molds. Slime molds are saprophytic protists. The body moves along decaying twigs and leaves, engulfing organic material. So for their nutrition requirement, they depend on death and decay part of other organism, and that's why they are saprophytic. Under suitable conditions, they form an aggregation called plasmodium, which may grow and spread over several feet. So we can say during suitable environment, suitable condition, their growth is observed. During unfavorable conditions, the plasmodium differentiates and form fruiting bodies bearing spores at the tips. The spores possess true walls. They are extremely resistant and survive for many years even under adverse condition. The spores are dispersed by air currents. So it is clear that during their growth is observed in suitable condition, but during unfavorable condition they undergo the formation of spores, and these spores actually they are having true walls, resistance, and survive many years even under adverse condition, and in favorable condition spores are dispersed by air currents. Fifth, protozoa. Protozoa. Proto means very primitive, zoa means animals. All protozoa are heterotrophs and live as predators or parasite. They are believed to be primitive relatives of animals. There are four major groups of protozoa. First, amoeboid protozoa. These organisms live in freshwater, seawater or moist soil. They move and capture their prey by putting out pseudopodia, false feet, as in amoeba. As you know, amoeba, they develop false feet. This is known as pseudopodia. Similar type of development is observed here also. Marine forms have silica shells on their surface. Some of them, such as entamoeba, are parasites. Second, flagellated protozoa. The members of this group are either free living or parasitic. They have flagella. The parasitic forms cause diseases such as sleeping sickness. Example of organism, that is Trypanosoma. Third, ciliated protozoa. These are aquatic, actively moving organisms because of the presence of thousands of cilia. They have a cavity, gullet, that opens to the outside of the cell surface. The coordinated movement of rows of cilia causes the water laden with food to be stirred into the gullet. Here example of animal, that is Paramecium. Fourth, sporozoa. This includes diverse organisms that have an infectious spore-like stage in the cycle. The most notorious is Plasmodium. It is also known as malaria parasite, which causes malaria, a disease which has a staggering effect on human population. So this way, in kingdom Protista, such a type of organisms are observed. Now let's study figure showing some organisms of kingdom Protista. You have already studied this Protista kingdom organisms feature in detail, so you can understand very easily about these organisms with study of figure. First is slime mold, second amoeba. You can see here irregular shape. Pseudopodia are also observed. Euglena is showing flagellate structure in their body. Dinoflagellate having two flagella in this organism. Paramecium, sleeper shaped structure. Cilia are also observed. Diatom, two atom like shape is there, and macroalga. So this figure is about various organisms of kingdom Protista.